What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at some landing gear I made for my LaTrax Alias. Before I get into that, I want to say I was never a big fan of Traxxas. I always thought they put out poor quality stuff, and the same with the LaTrax Alias. It's good, it's stable to a point, but they dropped the ball on landing gear. They didn't, and I think it was done purposely, in my opinion. I really do. I think Traxxas, in my opinion, stays in business by just selling parts, and that's why they dropped the ball on not making landing gear. Right here are the motors, and they have these little stupid rubber pads, or they had the little stupid rubber pads, and if you hit them hard enough, I don't care what Traxxas or what representative at Traxxas tells you, you're gonna hit the end bell hard enough, you're gonna ruin the motor. On this Traxxas, I've not had a crash, a major one, and it holds up the way they say it does, except for the motors. They're junk. I have 41 flights on this, and this motor right back here with the tape on it, well, that's the one that just fried today. And no, I did not let my Alias hit the grass or anything else and continue to throttle up. So with that out of the way, Traxxas dropped the ball on making the Alias high enough to support a camera. The camera that they put out is garbage, as you could see in my other video. And if this sounds like a bash video, it kind of is, because I was in contact with a supervisor, and I also contacted the CEO of Traxxas, and I've never got a response back other than send it in, here's your RMA number, and if there's nothing wrong with it, we'll send it back. Well, I know the problem. I have electronic background, and I am a machinist also, and I don't need them to check it out to tell me what's wrong with it. I need them to send me new parts, and the motors, of course, are not guaranteed. That out of the way, that being said, here's some improvements, and this was after several different designs of landing gear that I tried that failed. Either it was too heavy or it wasn't balanced right, and I am using the 808 number 16 V3 camera with the A lens at the time. No, I'm not an excellent pilot. I don't claim to be, but I do know inferior products when I see them, or deliberate design flaws when I see them, just to make money on parts. So on to the landing gear. I have to give my wife credit for this. She came up with the suction cup idea. Here's the suction cups that I had bought. They're small ones in there. You get 6 in the pack, and you get 2 large ones, which the large ones measure 1 1/16 in diameter. On the scale, digital scale that is, they weighed in at 2.1 grams with the little nipple to release the suction. With that cut off, it's right around 2 grams. So you got 8 grams on that side of it. So 4 suction cups, 8 grams, not a lot of weight. The 808 camera, that weighs 17.9 grams. I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up, but the number on these suction cups is 50, 40, and then there's a 5, and they're by Helping Hand. They're $1.59. You have to buy 2 packs in order to get the 2 large ones. And what I did was I simply took this nylon screw that I purchased at a hardware store. It's a 632. the nut fits perfectly underneath where the little rubber pads are. You pull the rubber pads off, the nut goes in. It's kind of hard to show you, but the nut kind of sits like so. Now I did have to put the nut in my lathe, and I turned the head down to 260 thousandths of an inch, and then I faced the head, so I made the head narrower, and I made that 45 thousandths of an inch. Once that fits down inside here, you simply thread the nut onto the bolt and you tighten it up. Then you take a drill bit rather, and drill a pilot hole through the suction cup, and then take a bigger one. I forget what the 632 mic's out to, but you drill a pilot hole. I think I used a 43 and number 43, and then I used a little bit bigger, and then I used a little bit bigger than that, and just simply pushed the suction cup on the nylon screw. The 808 camera is on there. You can see it has clearance. There's probably about 1/2 to 5/8 of an inch with the 808 camera on there. The other thing I did was I took a piece of blister pack, stuff that almost everything comes in these days that you have to use scissors, and I simply measured it, and I put, I don't think you're gonna see this, but there's a neoprene washer right where that little nub is that the screws go in, and that made it flush. So this little U kind of clamp I made was out of that blister pack, and then I just cut like a little recess for the button, which I really didn't even need to. And then down here you can kind of see you have 2 screws that mount the canopy. Well, I took that blister stuff and I bent it, put a hole in it, and then I put a zip tie through the camera, so the camera can't go forward. I also used some 3M outdoor 2-way tape, and I ran it across the beam and I doubled it up, and I stuck that on there. The battery fits in perfect, no problems whatsoever there. It's very stable. It pulls itself up, and let me pull up exactly what the whole Alias weighed in at. The Alias without any type of landing gear weighed in at 80.9 grams, no battery. The Alias with the suction cups without the camera weighed in at 89.9 grams, but that was before I cut the little nipples off the suction cups. With the camera and the little fasteners and the little blister pack stuff, the whole Alias without the battery, but with the camera and all the bolts and the zip tie and all, it weighs in at 108 grams, well 108.5 grams. So that's my take on the landing gear. it does give somewhat of a cushion, nicer landing, smoother, softer, and there you have it.